Back in 1971, President Richard Nixon announced that the US would no longer exchange dollars for gold. That day, something happened that changed the way we think about money forever. Most people didn't realize it at the time, but this decision would silently shape the financial reality we live in today. It was a moment that seemed like just another economic policy shift, but beneath the surface, it was much bigger than that. It wasn't just about gold or the economy. It was about control, influence, and a financial system that would forever be in the hands of a few. To truly understand what happened, we have to go back even further. Before 1971, money was something entirely different. If you had a $20 bill, you could walk into a bank and exchange it for a fixed amount of gold. That piece of paper wasn't just an idea, it was a promise, backed by something real. The gold standard meant that the money in circulation was tied to a limited, tangible resource. Governments couldn't simply create money out of thin air. They could only print as much as they had in reserves. This kept inflation in check, maintained stability, and most importantly, ensured that money had intrinsic value. But then the rules changed. By severing the tie between money and gold, governments gained the power to print as much currency as they deemed necessary. It was a shift that redefined wealth, debt, and economic power in ways that most people still don't fully understand. It allowed for unprecedented financial expansion, but it also created a system where money, once a measure of value, became something entirely different, something fluid, something controlled, something that could be altered at will. Think about the money in your pocket. A $100 bill costs just a few cents to produce. The ink, the paper, the labor, none of it adds up to what that number represents. And yet, that bill can buy groceries, gas, and even a plane ticket. Why? Because we agree it has value. The only thing separating a $1 bill from a $100 bill is a number printed on it. The physical difference is almost nothing, but psychologically, they are worlds apart. Before fiat currency, money was tied to something scarce and valuable. Gold, for example, was universally accepted, not because a government said so, but because it was finite, tangible, and resistant to manipulation. But with paper money, its value is entirely dependent on trust. Trust in governments, trust in central banks, trust in policies that have been rewritten over and over again. If the supply of money keeps increasing, but there's nothing backing it, what happens? Let's take Bitcoin, for example. Bitcoin has a hard cap of 21 million coins, a scarce supply which keeps pushing its value upwards. Now, if unlimited Bitcoins would have been in the market, they would have no value. Similarly is the case with printing more money. Prices rise, savings lose their power, and the gap between the wealthy and the struggling grows wider. This is inflation, and it's been happening year after year, almost unnoticed. In the early 1900s, a loaf of bread cost 5 cents. A brand new car? Around $600. A college education? $500 per year. Today, those same things cost hundreds or thousands of times more. But is it because bread has become more expensive to make? Because education has suddenly become more valuable? Not exactly. It's because the money used to buy those things has lost its power over time. Your grandparents might have bought a house for $30,000, while today, that same house is worth millions. Not because homes have changed, but because the purchasing power of money has declined. And those who understand how the system works know how to protect themselves from this slow erosion. They don't save money in banking institutes, they put it into assets that grow in value: real estate, businesses, commodities, investments. Meanwhile, the average person is told to save money, to work harder, to put their trust in a system that quietly devalues everything they earn. Another part of this puzzle is debt. Decades ago, people bought homes and cars with cash. Today, everything is financed. Student loans, mortgages, car payments, credit card balances, it's all part of a structure that keeps people working, earning, and repaying for decades. When you take out a loan, you aren't just borrowing money, you're locking yourself into years, even decades, of financial obligation. And while you're working hard to pay back every penny, the value of that money is slowly eroding due to inflation. The amount you borrowed may seem the same on paper, but the real cost, the purchasing power of that money, is diminishing over time. The wealthiest individuals and institutions know this, and they use it to their advantage. They borrow money to buy appreciating assets, while the average person borrows money for things that lose value over time. One group ends up wealthier, and the other, trapped in a cycle that's incredibly difficult to escape. If you start to see how this system works, the next question is, what do you do about it? The first step is understanding the game. Most people never stop to question how money works, why prices keep rising, or why financial security feels out of reach. But once you recognize the patterns, you can begin to make better decisions. Awareness is the foundation of change, and simply knowing that money is not as straightforward as it seems can open doors to new opportunities. The next step is rethinking the idea of saving money. If all of your wealth is in cash, you're already losing value every year. Inflation ensures that your money will buy less tomorrow than it does today. Instead, focusing on investments that grow over time, stocks, real estate, commodities, businesses, ensures that you are not just holding money, but building wealth. Thinking long-term is key. Wealth isn't built overnight, and it isn't built through endless hard work alone. It's built by understanding the flow of money, making strategic moves, and positioning yourself outside of the cycle that keeps most people stuck. Those who hold valuable assets, rather than just earning and spending, position themselves to thrive in a system where the rules can change at any moment. Finally, don't be afraid to question everything. If something doesn't make sense, if money is printed endlessly, but your paycheck stays the same, if debt keeps growing but solutions never seem to appear, dig deeper. The more you learn, the more power you have to navigate a system that wasn't necessarily designed for everyone to win. The financial world we live in isn't random. It isn't just a series of disconnected events, it's a system that has evolved over time, shaped by those who understand it best. And like any system, it rewards those who know how to navigate it, while leaving behind those who never even realize they're part of it. Most people spend their entire lives working hard, earning money, and following the conventional path. But without financial education, without understanding the rules beneath the surface, they remain caught in a cycle that keeps them running in place. And once you start seeing the patterns, the way money flows, the way decisions made decades ago still affect us today, you can start shaping your own path instead of following the one that was set for you. If this video opened your eyes to the realities of fiat currency, hit the like button and subscribe for more content like this. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.